So in this video, I'll be covering a redesign of Google Translate's Conversations feature. This is part of the Google Translate app for iOS. It's used for real-time translation of speech, not text or video. And we'll be covering two scenarios, one in which your phone has a bad network connection. Maybe it's spotty, disconnecting, dropping, or you're on 2 or 3G data, so your connection is just very slow. It's a pretty common problem when you're in rural areas or you're traveling abroad. The second scenario is when your phone and your data are working as expected, so everything's fine. In this video, we'll be trying to get to a train station. So we'll open up the app. This is the splash screen on the conversation feature. And as it's indicating, you should tap the microphone to start the conversation. We tap, and it is now listening. So in this case, I would be saying something like, how do I get to the train station? And this is the bad network connection example. So we tap, it's listening, listening, said, how do I get to the train station? It'll translate for a moment or two, and it'll indicate this to let you know that it's trying to translate it. And because we have a bad network connection, after 2 seconds, it would kick us back to the screen, which is just telling you your network connection is bad. You might be on the internet, but it's not good enough to do voice translate. So it tells you use text translate. This is just to give you quick feedback, because if you're waiting forever in the base app, it wouldn't actually tell you that it was failing to translate, and it would just wait. It would keep waiting even if it's too slow to realistically translate in conversational speeds. So this would just indicate that you need to do something else. So it'll take you back to tap microphone to talk. And now we would be trying again, maybe with good network speed, or this could just be an entirely new scenario. So you tap to talk. It's listening. How do I get to the train station? Translating. 1, 2. Translates. And it continues listening. This is when you offer the phone to your speaking buddy. And they tell you how to get there. Translates for 1 or 2 seconds. And it displays their text above the actual Spanish in this case. And it's listening for you again. So you say, thanks, I didn't know how to get there, something like that. Translates for 2 seconds and translate it for you. Keeps listening, but now we're done. We got what we needed, so we hit the stop translating button. And that's where we see our second interface redesign. Instead of the base app's no chat history, you can actually scroll up and down. So in the base app, it would only display the last message you saw. And in this case, say you've already forgotten the directions, now you can scroll back up and see. It keeps a log of everything you had in this conversation. The last interface redesign is one that you might not have even noticed, and it's that, even if you've used the app, and it's that there used to be 3 microphone buttons. One under English, one in the middle to indicate either, or one under Spanish. And the reason we removed the second 2 microphone buttons is that it's not immediately clear to users what are these for. And even if you think about it for a moment and you realize I probably want to press the middle button, it probably does either, there was no added functionality to only translating in one direction, because the application can detect which language you're speaking and it can display the appropriate translation regardless of which language. So there was no added utility from having 3 buttons. But if you're not familiar with the application, which many people you're talking to might not be, they might not realize what this is for. And say you accidentally hit the stop translating button, or you hand the phone to them to start the translation, they might hit the English button or not know which one to choose. So the goal here was to just make it simpler to stop and start conversations going either way.